All right, guys. Sorry about that. All right, welcome. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. If you don't know, my name is Eli. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do live Q&As where I can answer any and all of your guys' questions. But before we jump into it, as always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. But hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful day. But let's just give a couple shout outs to people that are here so far. So shout out to Senpai, Sergio, Wrath, the Minty Collector, the Great Hero, Jordan, Craig, and that is who we have so far. Well, it's funny because it says we have quite a bit of people watching so far for the start, but not a lot of people talking. So if you got any questions, don't feel hesitant to ask. Anyone else here going after Crown Zenith ETB reprints? Oh yeah, we're waiting for those very patiently in the wholesale program since we put in pre-orders for them a while ago. What's up, Alex? Hopefully all is well with you. And you too, Pokepack Battle and Oh my gosh. I already have my Pokemon Center one from initial release. Nice. Big pass. I'm all set like Pokemon Go. I just came back into the hobby a month ago after a decade of giving up. Ooh, I hate that word. Giving up. That sucks. But now that I'm here, I'm obsessed with it. Crown Zenith. Well, welcome back, Minty Collector. Let's see. If you got back into it, you gave up in 2013. That was right after Legendary Treasures going into the XY era. Dang. That sounds about where I really stopped collecting cards quite a bit. I was not the biggest fan of the XY era. It kind of blew, so I feel that. I definitely have an appreciation for the amount of research you put in your channel, the investing knowledge you pass on. It's timeless. Product runs may come to pass, but principle remains the same. I appreciate that. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, I try and teach about, if you watch my content, for those of you who are listening, I try and teach discipline. That's kind of one of the biggest things I really teach. Learning to be patient, learning to be emotionless when it comes to your investment decisions. A lot of times when it comes to just investing in general, people like to be reactionary. They like to just jump on things without doing the proper research. They like to try and get in when the price might feel like it's a good price, but in their mind, they're rationalizing it quite a bit because they just don't want to miss out. And that's just kind of something that's human nature, and it's more or less us trying to find a way to break that tendency when it comes to human nature. So that's just how it is, man. I actually got the Pogo Dragonite V-Star on eBay for less than 30. Hey, that's a pretty good price. Talk is cheap. What's up, Oi? Hopefully all is well with you. He's like, frick talking. I'm just here to listen. What's up, Fernando? Also took a break in XY. Yeah, so just to kind of answer my collecting history. I first got in, I remember the first item I ever got, actually, it was an EX tin from Walgreens. It was a Tyranitar EX promo tin. I remember that was the first item I ever got for Pokemon. Shortly after that, I got a theme deck from Torterra, one of my favorite ones ever. I absolutely love that theme deck. I actually have it. It's kind of hard to see because it's blurry, but I have it displayed in the back here along with the Torterra level X tin because Torterra is my favorite starter Pokemon. And then, so, back in EX era, Dragon Frontiers when I started. And then I really stopped collecting in the later half of the black and white era. I really like the early half of the black and white era, which is so funny because looking back on it, the second half of the black and white era is far and away drastically better. But when you're someone that doesn't really collect, and more or less for myself, I was just a competitive player. I like the game more, and I just didn't like the way the meta was power creeping so much as the EX HP kept going up higher and higher. And so it really just turned off the game for myself. And then XY era was the era that I loved the concept of megas, but I hated 3DS graphics. I was such a fanboy of black and white era and that kind of like DS regular era graphics. Same with, honestly, Game Boys too. I think it just got worse with 3DS. And then I just skipped Sun and Moon altogether. I was just not a big fan of Sun and Moon. And funny enough, I actually wanted to like get back into collecting near the back end of the XY era because of Evolutions, and I got in and I opened a tin and it had Evolutions and Steam Siege, and I was like, wow, what is this set? This is awful. Steam Siege is terrible. So my first experience trying to get back into it was because of Evolutions and Steam Siege. So I missed out on like that kind of like middle portion of XY. So it's just so funny. What's up, everyone? Driving but listening in. Well, thank you so much for listening in, Ezio. We appreciate your support. We're gonna talk about all the other TCGs other than Pokemon. Never, obviously. We only talk Pokemon here. Yeah, no. I mean, you know, as I'm leaning into it a little bit more, talking about Magic, just because there's so many investment opportunities with that. Obviously, the channel right now is geared so much predominantly towards Pokemon because I am Pokemon USA, but I do want to try and be flexible with my identity pretty soon here, just based on the fact that ultimately, I think if you're making money, that's what matters. I'm going to tell you what I think is good for short-term, medium-term, long-term investments just in trading card games, period. And then with that as well, you're going to have opportunities if you're not full-on just investor type for sit and long-term, but product that you want to sell because you want to get into bulk. Which I have been pretty heavy into that, especially since I have a Roka and I actually just got a Fizz badge. So just really trying to utilize my TCG machines as much as I can. Sorcery over Lorcana. I hear a lot of people saying that. Sorcery is going to come out soon. I'm excited. I talked about it already. We got our allocations. And for what people asked for, it was good. I mean, it was like 70% of what we asked for, which for me, that's about a good number when I'm looking for allocations, is at least 70%. Because most of the time, like with the quantities in which we tend to order things, usually it's very much like sub 50%. We'll be like, we want 2,000 booster boxes, and they're like, you're gonna get 900, and I'm like, frick you guys. Do you think Lorcana will flip-flop and die in about set 3 to 5? I don't know if dying is the right word. They still have the IP rights to Disney, and to be fair, Disney has been bleeding. I know it's technically Ravensburg, but you know, the perception of Disney is still what matters ultimately at the end of the day. And just the way they've been handling the rollout has been atrocious. I mean, trying to get your hands on product is so difficult. And the whole second wave of Lorcana is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? That second wave of product, we don't know because it keeps getting delayed. So unless there's some new information that I don't know about, but I talked to my rep and he's like, yeah, man, so Lorcana's second wave, don't know when that's coming. I was like, sick. That's good to know. So yeah, I mean, they're just absolutely just debacle after, like, it's awful. I mean, sorcery, first and foremost, sorcery, we've gotten triple the amount of product we've asked for with sorcery compared to Lorcana. So it's like, or I shouldn't say what we got allocated. I should say not what we asked for, what we got allocated. So it's like, I don't know what Lorcana is doing. It's so much easier to get sorcery. It'll be interesting to see how that's going to go. Everything's on fire now. Alex Alley says, I'm from Germany, wondering how large the Crown Zenith reprint in the US is. In Germany, we don't get reprints. How much are people paying per Crown Zenith in your Patreon? Okay, so for Crown Zenith right now, let's just first have a conversation about the Crown Zenith market rate right now. So the Crown Zenith market rate, I think, is 50 cents. No, I have no clue. I don't know. I think I know it's at MSRP if I'm correct, but I don't want to misquote it. So we'll just take a look and see what the overall price is. Oh my gosh. Wow. It's actually going up again. What? Okay. So it's about $60. So you might want to sell any sort of Crown Zenith stock you have if you want to cash out. I actually have like 3 cases I was holding off for a long-term investment off to the side. Might want to sell that real quick before I pick up some more. So right now, the market price for this item is $59. Someone in the program, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was $31.50 is how much everyone was paying. I can double check that, but yeah, $31.50 is how much people were paying. However, you also want to take into consideration with this the general, what's the word I'm looking for? Supply that we were allocated. So there's two, and this is one thing I like to discuss with people, both in the program and out of the program, because these numbers actually tell us a lot, right? Number one, right? We as a program asked for 1,800 booster boxes worth. We were the third highest allocated account with what we got. We got 600 boosters, or 600 ETBs worth. So we got a third of what we asked for, but it has nothing to do with the fact that they didn't allocate us a ton. It has to do with the fact that they just didn't have a ton to allocate. With that being said, with Obsidian, we got allocated with them 690 boosters. And that was a full-on first wave reprint. So for us to get only 90 ETBs less than what we got from Obsidian goes to show you that this is going to be a reprint that is the size of basically close to that of a new release. So this is just based on the numbers that I'm getting and from the history that I have with my distributor. And so for myself, that is kind of what my belief is. I would not be surprised if Crown Zenith ETB prices absolutely went into the gutter. So especially too, because a lot of places are pre-selling them already for like $45. And I'm like, that's so stupid. Like, why are you trying to do that? But I have a feeling there's a lot of storefronts that are running into liquidity issues right now just because of how things have been going in the market, and people are just over leveraged, and now it's finally catching up and it's biting them in the butt. So word to the wise, make sure you don't over leverage yourself when it comes to your investments. If you're utilizing your credit card, make sure that you are not just going to have a rolling balance. Make sure to pay everything off in full and utilize your credit by turning product as much as you can, because you don't want to just be sitting on product and or sitting on debt like a lot of these presumable stores are, because they are just taking pre-orders on product, and then when it's time to pay, they just pay with their lines of credit that they have. So I'm not saying this for any specific, just, online retailers, but it's a common thing that happens a lot with storefronts that tend to fail. But I think that should answer the question of, so $31.50 is what people pay for. Alfred, see, frick you, Alfred. This guy. Okay, sorry. It was $31.25 is how much the price was, not $31.50. This guy. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say something, Alfred. Other TCGs, bro didn't read the account name. Oh yeah, Wrath of Zapdos, right? No, Wrath is just teasing. Pokemon USA in stuff. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's funny. You guys see at the, I don't know if it, oh, actually my face is covering it up. I have two TCG player accounts. So one is TCG, it's the Pokemon USA, and then my second TCG player account is Pokemon USA MTG. So it's literally like it's like, all right. Hey, what's up, Tanner? Good to see you. I watch all your videos. My first stream here. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Tanner. Well, if you have any questions, this is a Q&A. Oh, he is reading it now. Finally. Yes. Hi, Tanner. I just go in order from the chat. So if you want to know, like, and this goes for everyone, where I am within like asking questions, you can always go back to the chat logs, and then you'll see like how caught up I am based off of what the most recent question I read was out loud. What a deal indeed. This is pre-recorded. It is not pre-recorded. How do I prove that it's not? Wait, what do you freaking mean? I don't have to prove it's pre-recorded. You guys are in the chat talking. Stop trolling. You have tons of questions. Well, I would love to hear your questions. What's good? What's up? Don't pop believin'. When's the release date for Crown Zenith ETBs? That has not been officially confirmed yet. At least from what my distributor has told me. I know a lot of people have been throwing like dates out in the air, but a lot of places so far seem to say something having to do with mid-October, which, hey, guess where we are now? It's mid-October. Like, it's past mid-October, basically. Which, speaking of which, it's kind of a little side note. Tomorrow's my birthday, actually. So, hooray. I don't know. It's funny. I didn't really think about it until one of my buddies reminded me. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So, yay, October. Shout out to anyone else who's born in October. Did you reach out to Alex on him being a statistic of the lazy bums of unemployment? Dude, you should have been there, bro. I literally called up Alex and I said, listen here, you idiot. I said, I can't believe that you're on welfare. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't call him because I was super duper busy working yesterday. I mean, it's been a busy week for myself work wise, but I did text him and I said, hey, rumor has it you're unemployed now. And, just kind of was joking with him in the text and then said that we should catch up sometime. So I am more than likely going to have a phone call with him probably sometime later today. So probably sometime after stream is what I'm thinking. Just depends on what other work stuff I also have to get done as well and such. TCG Player always seems overpriced compared to other place product, in my opinion. That is 100% true, Horizon. Yeah, 90% of the time, TCG Player, I should say 95%, it's the most expensive place to generally get new Pokemon product. However, there is many times where it actually can be the cheapest, which is kind of crazy to say. I could be wrong on this, but just let's take a look at the prices for the general market, right? So if we go take a look at Paradox Rift, right? Most places are selling Paradox Rift for sub $100, right? So 106, 107, whatever, pretty spendy. However, you know what is also dirt cheap on this? $80 booster boxes of Scarlet and Violet base. I don't know of any place that's selling it for cheaper. I could be wrong, but that's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know of a single distributor that is selling sub 85. So, it is. It's quite interesting to say the least. Oh God, I might sneeze. Give me a sec, guys. So sorry about that. Hey, I actually bought a Nostalgianomic shirt, which is funny because I don't know where it is. I bought it though. I think my wife picked it up and put it somewhere for me. So I'll have to maybe look in my closet and see if I hung it up or she put it somewhere and I don't know where it is. Thanks for all the well wishes, everyone. Yes, birthdays are just another day, nothing special. Wow, Alfred out here just freaking downer, dude. No. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like birthdays are a special day. I think celebrating people's birthdays, just doing something somewhat nice is definitely a fun thing to do. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not out here like, oh my God, we're going to go crazy, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I for myself, am like, hey, it's my birthday. Let's party. Let's party. Let's have fun with my friends and just hang out with my friends for the day or do something special with my wife. That's kind of how I am. I'm a lot more low key. Yeah, I'm turning 21. Yeah, right. No, I'll be turning 25 tomorrow. So 25 is... It's that weird age for me where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm halfway to 30. But also, let's go. Your boy's getting cheaper car insurance and he doesn't have to pay the freaking young driver fee when I go and get a rental. So if I could stop aging at a certain age, 25 would definitely be it. Because now I'm legal for everything, which is funny to think because no one probably thinks about that. Everyone's like, yeah, I just want to get to 21 so I can drink. I'm like, bro, I want to get to 25 so I don't have to pay additional fees on being a young driver, because holy crap, it's so expensive being a young driver and trying to get a rental. They basically like double the price. It's an absolute scam. I'm selling all my other stuff that I made money on and now buying a lot of Lost Origin and Fusion Strike booster boxes, just loose ones. I'm wondering where I can get legit cases. I would say that there's a lot of reputable places that you can get legit cases. What I recommend doing is if you actually join our Discord, we have a Discord community group of people that list links. And it's under the deals links, and that will tell you a lot of like what's a good place to buy from. Obviously, you want to make sure that it is a reputable site. For the most part, we're pretty good about filtering out people that are just kind of scamming and just posting links. So that's what I would recommend doing if you're trying to find it, and seeing what websites are legit and have them available for a good price. I do, Rick. Thank you very much. Gotta support the boys. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm gonna get a shirt to support them. Also, when can I get maybe booster boxes guaranteed not to be resale and cheaper than Pokemon Center, because that's where I buy from my local card shop, but they are expensive. Tanner. Well, let me ask you this, Tanner. Are you living within the United States? Because you should be getting booster boxes for much greater than what you're doing local, and or if you're trying to go Pokemon Center website, because you can get them for dirt cheap in that if you're comparing the two, if you go to other places like TCG Player, eBay, or other verified sellers. Happy birthday. Welcome to the age where you can't remember anything. Oh God, I hope not. I've got a pretty good memory. I didn't even think about that, Rick. That's actually funny. You know, I was just so busy actually having a job that like I totally forgot to reach out to Alex about being unemployed because he's such a bump. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. When is Crown Zenith EXP coming again? We don't know the exact date of when the reprint's happening. We were told sometime mid-October, but it's not here. I can tell you that I have been allocated, so I know what my numbers are. I just don't know the exact date. I don't see a Pokemon boom like we did in the past year until maybe 30th anniversary set. Thoughts? I think it really just comes down to what's going on with the economy. I think there's a lot of macro trends that happen that a lot of people don't realize because we're in the retail space. And so for me, honestly, that is kind of what lines up with it. Because if you really think about it, ladies and gentlemen, like, don't get me wrong, Sword and Shield era, banger of an era, one of the best generations we've had in terms of the trading card. Sun and Moon era was still really good, but Sun and Moon booster boxes were stupid cheap because of the fact of the matter that no one was as nearly interested as they were during the time of COVID. You also look in 2016, there was a decent boom for a Pokemon product during 2016. Obviously, Evolutions helped with that. You know, the hype with what's his name? Just the Charizard King and going on Pawn Shop and stuff like that. And, you know, Pokemon Go. There's a lot that obviously centered around that. But if you also think about it, economically speaking, in 2016, there's a lot of other things that kind of tied in from a macro perspective that made it to where just a lot of people were doing well, right? Like we had the recession in 08, we bottomed out in 10, and there was kind of a stagnation period. And then by 2016, 2017, the economy started to kind of roar. So that's usually what I would say is playing into it the most on what's going to determine the future of how Pokemon's going to do. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, right, we know that Pokemon is still going to have sets that are going to perform well. Take a look at how 151's been performing. I mean, the product itself, for most of them, is still above MSRP. Obviously, the Ultra Premium is going below MSRP, but I mean, really, other than that, like, most of the items are at MSRP or above. So it's performing well. It's performing well as a set. It's just mainly the lack of love currently for the Scarlet and Violet era product is what is turning a lot of people off. And I think that it just comes down to the fact of the matter that every new generation, always the first couple of sets are usually duds. And it's usually the second half that's the best. But to be honest with you, I don't even think these sets are duds. I think that people, as much as they love to like whine and complain, they want those nostalgic characters. Like, oh my god, another Charizard. Who would have guessed it? But people want Charizards. Like, they want Charizards. The only difference is that they want Charizards that are in multiple different sets. Or sorry, in a set that has multiple different big hitters. Like, if you just give me a set and say Charizard only, like, no one cares. But if you give me a set with a Charizard and 5 other Pokemon that are worth chasing, then it's all of a sudden now a good set with a good Charizard art. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the biggest thing. You don't really see that happening right now in Scarlet and Violet era, other than 151, where you could chase after a Venusaur, and you could chase after a Blastoise, and you could chase after a I don't know, some of the alternate art trainer cards, or SIRs, depending on what you want to call them. So that's something that you haven't really seen, because Obsidian, it was just the Charizard and that was it. No one cared about anything. Sorry for all you Pidgeot fans. Then next you had arguably the best, I would say, of the 3 booster box sets released, Paldea, which had some amazing art designs, but other than the waifu, there wasn't any real nostalgic SIR characters that people were chasing. There were some character rares that people were chasing, the Magikarp and the Tyranitar, which people were going after, but it wasn't enough to where it was just going to crank up the price because you had big evolution hitter cards, Rayquaza, Lugia, Giratina, you know, these characters that people have grown up to love nostalgically, right? And then, I mean, Scarlet and Violet base is just doo-doo. I mean, other than the Miriam, it's like, okay, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, so to kind of go back from answering your question, first half tends to perform the worst. Economically, that's also going to play a big factor. Right now, economy's still pretty rough. Inflation is still not at 2%. I know everyone keeps saying it's at like 3% or 3.5%. I can't remember, but that's if you're taking out a lot of statistical variables, like it, and that's usually housing, because housing makes up like 92% of inflation. So they're just kind of cherry picking with those statistics, which is really annoying because inflation is still really bad, and they're just trying to make it look less bad than it actually is. You know, and that is also tied into the GDP growth. But I don't want to get too deep into that rabbit hole. More or less, the point that I'm making is until we see some sort of life when it comes to the overall economy, and you start to feel where things are not as expensive and the value of the dollar is going to go up, then we can start to have a conversation about people being okay with the fact that they raise the price of booster boxes by $10, because obviously that's going to draw a lot of demand away when it's not something that people are looking for right now when it comes to higher pricing for a product that isn't going to have their favorite characters. Do you think people leaving the hobby will and lower single prices will help the market settle down? I'm new in the hobby, but it's already a rodeo with these prices. Not really. I think the only thing that's going to cause prices for singles to go down is just ultimately more supply and less demand. I mean, that's just basic supply and demand economics, right? But the Pokemon Company so far has shown a willingness to reprint the crap out of Scarlet and Violet era boxes that no one cares about in a trade-off for you bundling them for reprinted Sword and Shield era product. So basically what they've done so far is, and this is why Scarlet and Violet's actually the cheapest. I know people might think, oh, Scarlet and Violet, it's the cheapest because it's the one that people hate the most. That's actually not true. The reason why it's the cheapest is because there was a bundle that was being offered from the Pokemon Company to distributors. And that bundle was, if you want to get Lost Origin and Silver Tempest booster boxes, you have to purchase Scarlet and Violet based boosters. That was the incentive that was offered to them. It was then offered to us from distros. And so for that reason, it added a large supply of Scarlet and Violet based boosters onto the market. It was reprinted heavily along with those two specific Sword and Shield era boosters. So you haven't seen that with Paldea. You haven't seen that with Obsidian. And obviously those prices are still performing bad for those two boosters, but I think that has less to do with the overall demand side of things. No, that's right. Is that right? They've still been performing bad, but I think it has less to do with the fact of the supply and it has more to do with the demand. Sorry. Because the, demand just for Scarlet and Violet overall has just continued to go down, especially with the prices being what they are at wholesale. What's up, Hash Catchem? Good to see you as always, brother. Do you have any guesstimate on how many CZ ETBs I'll be getting with 12K spend? I say we went from 1,800. I can't really answer that question because I haven't done allocations for that Pop Believe In. So I would really have to go back and I'd have to do the allocations. But rest assured, I'll have numbers for that sooner than later. You guys are so brutal. Didn't I do a pay in 4? Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, no, I went to I went to go buy Alex's shirt and I accidentally clicked finance. I accidentally financed the $20 shirt. I totally forgot about that. Charizard Baller. What's up, Charizard Baller? Happy birthday, Eli. My birthday was on the 11th. Only ballers are born in October. Hey, you're not wrong. And my wife, whose birthday is on the 8th, would agree with you. $25 is the final checkpoint, baby. Yeah, let's see. 18 can legally buy a lotto ticket. 21 drink. 25 car rentals. Yes, sir. That's it, baby. Holy crap, thought you were at least 30. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Don't expect much from Pokemon until 30-year anniversary. Investment-wise, we're on our way to world economic crisis. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I am not optimistic so far, which is both a good and a bad thing. Because here's the deal. As a business owner, I think that you're going to make the most money during a recession. And people might say to yourself, Eli, that makes 0 sense. Less people are spending money. Yeah, but also a lot of businesses are failing and a lot of businesses are in the process of going out of business, right? And so you're able to take the failures of other businesses and you're going to now crush the competition by taking the leverage that is panic in the market and use that as a way for you to negotiate with other distributors, right? I was talking to people about this on the Patreon program, right? Because we're in the process of getting a new distributor, right? And right now, our booster box prices that we're going to start paying for boosters is $90. However, this new distributor is trying to compete with my main distributor and taking away their business and is willing to offer us matching price of $90 and then a permanent price of $89, right? So basically, they'll give us $90 out the gate, but if we prove to spend more with them in the future, then they'll give us $89. And they're also offering us a deal to buy Paradox product for around $87. So if you want $87 booster boxes, you can join the program and take advantage of that for Paradox. And at the end of the day, this is one of those things where now, if you had asked me a year ago, what were the odds that I was going to be able to get booster boxes for sub $90, I would have been surprised. But because of the continued lack of demand in the market, I'm now able to negotiate lower prices for the future so that I can be a part of those grandfathered in prices. You don't have to be someone that's had an account for 20 plus years. You just have to be someone that is good at negotiating. That's literally just how life works. There's a reason why a lot of times you hear people talk about pay disparity within the workplace, but ultimately at the end of the day, a lot of times it just comes down to some people negotiating for pricing and a lot of people being more timid when asking for pay raises. I mean, I can think of multiple different jobs that I have worked out where I was working with some buddies or, other individuals where I made more than them. And it wasn't even because I was at a higher position. It was because I asked for it and I negotiated for it. And a lot of people get really nervous on doing that, right? So you have to be able to be aggressive and take the advantages that are put in front of you. And as Warren Buffett loves to say, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So, but I'm just talking obviously from the business perspective, which is still different for a lot of other people. 50 plus in the chat and only 15 likes. Come on, guys, drop a like and help my guy Eli out. Yes, for those of you guys that are here, it looks like we've got almost about 80 people right now. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want access to Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Flesh and Blood at wholesale prices, make sure you join the Patreon. Links down in the description below. But like I said before, I talked about this last stream. We're going to be doing a special because we're developing a new website here. So if you don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a special rate for the wholesale program. So for those that are currently in the program right now, we'll have the opportunity. So if you join now, you'll be locked in to get this transfer opportunity. What we're going to do is we're going to be offering a discounted rate if you buy for a full year up front or not up front. If you pay up front, you get the discounted rate of $85 a month for the program, where it's right now at $115, or you're going to get it if you do month to month for 12 months, $95. So it's a really big discount. This is in celebration of us developing the new website, and then for myself as well. Obviously, we're getting pretty close to Black Friday, so it's kind of in between that, which is why it's going to expire on Black Friday or when it sells out. Which, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, when I put up the pricing for the wholesale program at $75 back when I first was doing the program, it sold out in 30 seconds. So I do anticipate it to sell out really, really quick. So if you want to learn more about that, obviously feel free to ask me any questions or any other people in the program. But ultimately, it's definitely a good opportunity. And if you're in the program right now, like I said, as soon as it hits November 1st, we'll just refund you the difference on how much you paid for joining now, and then you'll get that discounted rate permanently as long as you're still in the program. Next question. Welcome back. I know, man. I've been busy, man. I've been so busy. Yeah, I got married in September and then literally came back for 5 days and then went to another wedding, and then it was my wife's birthday. And then now it's going to be my birthday. It's been busy, a lot of holidays and a lot of celebrations. So, but I'm glad to be back to business, baby. But thank you so much for that, Corn. It's a buyer's market, not a reseller's market. Just when you think you've seen the floor, another person undercuts. Yep, that's how it is, man. And I'm hoping that's going to be the housing market soon. I don't want the housing market to crash, obviously, because that could be economically devastating. But I wouldn't mind being able to afford a home as someone who's looking to buy a home in the next year. That would be awesome because it's expensive. I'm not even talking about lowering the interest rate. I'm just saying, come on, guys. Can we at least just like make homes cheaper? Like, at least where I live in the Phoenix area, it's like if I want to get a home, it's like $500,000 to $600,000 minimum. Right now, I'm paying $2,250 for rent for a 3-2 and an at-home office with a 2-car garage. If I want to get this exactly and I want to go rent it, get a mortgage on it, I'm paying at least $2,500 to $3,000 a month when you start to include the mortgage, and that's with including 20% down. So it's like, it's just stupid to try and get a home right now. It's so much more expensive. After 26, you really start to forget birthdays. Um, you know, like I said before, man, it's one of those things where like I think it's definitely good to like do something for birthdays, but yeah, because I still want to remember them. I mean, I'm obviously for me, I think it's a symbol of life, and I'm definitely blessed to be alive today. So, but I'm not one of those crazy people that just goes out and makes the whole day about me. So. It'll be interesting to see 26. Man, I feel so old at 25, and people are gonna make fun of me because they're like, wait until wait until you hit 30. Hey, thanks, info for now. I'm shook. When's the Pokemon USA OnlyFans box break start? Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, if I'm being honest, guys, I do have some really marketable toes. No, I'm just kidding. Tanner, I'm 15, live in the U.S. Pokemon Center is about 144 for a Fusion and Lost Origin, 135 at Card Shop. Just trying to find one website to buy Lost Origin and Fusion boxes, right? I would love to know more about your website. I'm willing to spend some money on it because I buy about one case per month of boosters. Well, so far we don't have the website developed yet, but that's going to be coming relatively soon here. All we have is the Patreon program, but I would say that if you buy only one, first and foremost, you're 15 years old. So congratulations. I think it's awesome that you're at the age you are and you're in chats like this where you're learning about investing and a hobby that you enjoy. I think that's awesome. Congratulations. I will say for the Pokemon program, if you are only buying one case of booster boxes a month, it's typically not really worth it. The idea surrounding the value of the program is it's for people that like to resell product quite consistently. It's people that like to sell and break down product for bulk. It's people that like to buy large amounts on a monthly basis. It's not necessarily that you have to have a certain amount of money to be in the program, because if I'm being 100% honest, you could easily be profitable in the program starting off with $400 and then just kind of going from there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if your job is just to take your money and just sit on it, then it starts to become less valuable, because most of the time, depending upon the product you're buying, you're usually able to get it for cheaper elsewhere. If you're just saying, hey, Eli, I want to get a, Obsidian Flames booster box, right? Let's say you want to get an Obsidian Flames booster box. You can probably go get it at other places for like $95. We'll sell it to you for $90. That's a discount, but unless you're buying other things to calculate into the cost of the fee, it's not going to be worth it for you, right? But if you're saying to yourself, for example, I've got $600 a month, I want to spend some money to do something. Well, March of the Machine Commander decks right now have about a 55% return, not including sample packs, not including the lands plus the dice you sell. So you could easily talk about doubling up your money if you just sell your singles on that and a lot of the other additional items that come with it. And that is an absolute amazing opportunity to create a massive return. However, this is something that you would want to do if you were just not trying to set it and forget it, but you were more interested in delving into the side hustle of trading cards. So my recommendation for you would ultimately be to join the Discord, like I said, and talk to some of the people in it. And more specifically, look at the deals channel and the deals links. You'll see a lot of sites. You'll get familiar with a lot of sites. Most popular one that I will reference, Safari Zone's a good one. They love to just crash the price of everything. I can't say anything right now for Lost Origin and Fusion Strike, who's the cheapest. I know our new distributor is going to be selling it for $120, and that's really the only one that has it available right now, to my knowledge. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be others. But if anyone in the chat wants to help him out, then obviously that would be awesome to kind of point him in the right direction. Horizon said, save your money and wait for good deals. Sellers are going to get more desperate with product. LGS will be shutting down all over. What a time to be alive. Oh, that brings up a great point, Horizon. Black Friday, dude. Wait till Black Friday too, Tanner. You're going to have a lot of really good opportunities with people dropping stuff, especially too as well. You're also going to probably see some bundles happen where people are going to want to try and get their Scarlet and Violet product, and they're going to want to give you a discount if you pick it up, while bundling it with some other boosters. It would not surprise me if we see something like that happen. Do you what? I don't even know what that means, Steven. Do I annoy coconuts? But he spelled annoy E-N-O-Y. This set is complete garbage. Nobody can change my mind. Which set in particular are you referencing, Timo? Are you talking about Paradox? Let's be honest. We don't want an ugly Zard, specifically funny-looking hat one. SIR looks only slightly better than the version. Yeah, ugly-looking hat are not good. You don't strike me as a coffee drinker. You enjoy chicken tendies with some barbecue sauce. I do like my chicken tendies, but I'm a ranch guy. I'm sorry. I know. It's just, oh my God, super freaking white. Just, I love my ranch and my cheese, baby. Give me my sharp cheddar, or my medium cheddar cheese with my ranch. I'm a dairy person for sure, but no coffee. I am not a coffee person at all. I've had one cup of coffee in my entire life. The Garchomp from Paradox is better than Zard from OBF. Big time. SV1 reprinted or stale stock? For sure reprint. I know it was a reprint. It was massive. It was massive amounts available. True, in my opinion, on the first and wife. I'm on the first and wife's on the 23rd. Hey, let's go, baby. Well, happy birthdays to you guys both. I love when you mention my YouTube name. It's so funny. I got it from SM Pratt. That's so funny. Did you get a chance to check out any LGSs while you were in Hawaii? I think I did. I can't remember. Oh man, that's a good question. I went into Honolulu one day. And I can't remember if I checked out one of the LGSs or not. I think I might have. But I remember it being lackluster, if that's true. But I can't recall now. That's annoying. I went somewhere that was selling the Pokemon. I can't recall, honestly, dude. I'm sorry. I don't think so, actually, now that I think about it more. I don't think I did. Do you have any ideas on how much distro gets their booster boxes for from the Pokemon Company? I do know that answer, but I cannot disclose that, or else I will get in lots of trouble. Any chance on getting access to One Piece with the new distro? Not with the new distro. The only current distributors that offer Bandai are Alliance and GTS Distribution, which are known for being some of the worst distributors out there. For me personally, I've heard better things about Alliance than GTS. I heard GTS is god-awful, so I want to stay away from them, period. Alliance, maybe I would potentially apply for them, but the problem is they're going to be expecting you spend money to get Bandai. It's not like you just join and all of a sudden, congrats, you get Bandai. And they're charging $101 a booster at Alliance. And I'm not going to pay $101 for a booster box when I can get it for $10, $11 cheaper at other distributors and potentially, $14 cheaper with new ones. Oh, and get some Japanese, eventually English Bandai when our distributors can swing things for us. Remember when LGS took advantage of all of us by charging more for products we loved during COVID? Now is our chance to pay them less for the same product. Customer service should always be number one. I don't know, man. I agree but disagree with that statement. I do think there was a lot of individuals that were taking it, they were just charging astronomical prices, like unrealistic prices when it came to a lot of booster box products. And obviously you always want to keep in mind who were the ones that were offering the good deals. You want to, be loyal to them. But one thing I will say, and I don't want this to take away from your point, there was a lot of cuts for general supply. And when that happens, there's only so many ways to make money as a storefront, and obviously you want to be creative to survive. But when you have 50% of your allocations being cut because of COVID occurring, and you're limited now on your overall supply and growth as a business, and you're saying to yourself, well, either I can try and drastically undercut the market, or I can go with the market and make up for the lack of product with more margin. It's like, I don't blame some businesses. I know that some people might think that's a scummy thing to say, but honestly, it's just what some businesses did to survive. But like I said before, if they were smart businesses, they would have been creative and found other ways rather than trying to, charge more because they're not getting enough product, because you just got to be able to be creative. And I think for me personally, the reason why my business has been successful is because of the community that I've kind of created. And for those of you guys who have been around since the inception of the business, I've been very much about trying to offer fair, competitive pricing. Obviously, that's one of the biggest draws to the Patreon program to begin with it being so affordable. When it comes to pricing, right? I mean, you're getting cost. And it's not even like one of these things where it's like I'm paying $85 a booster and I'm selling for $90. Like, I know I'm getting it for $90 and I'm selling it for $90, right? And so it's like that's something that obviously is a model that works for me, but it might not work for other LGSs, and they have to come up with their own model, or else they're going to fail when the free tendies are gone, and people are going to remember them for overcharging and realizing that, hey, guess what? Prices are cheaper now. Guess what that means? I don't have to go to you anymore. And then they fail. Do you have any idea on how much distros get their boost? I already answered that question, saying I won't answer that question. Commercial probably would go first. That will be the starting point to watch for the market. Yeah, it's interesting because, we've seen a lot of tanking and pricing for office spaces. So, but, I would like to see commercial property outside of, outside of office spaces go down. I would really like to see what could potentially happen with strip mall areas, or general like retail stores. That's gross. Here in Arkansas, sorry, not Arkansas. Bought my 200. Okay, when did you buy that though? Let's be real here. 30 will disrespect you, Fernando. That's funny. What do you think about the Rayquaza poncho box will go up in value? I am not an expert on the Japanese market for specific niche Japanese products such as that, so I really don't want to answer that question because I don't want to give you bad information. Interest rates have already risen beyond the parameters of stress test or banks and central bank perform in dark water now. Who knows what will happen, especially with more rises to come. Alfred, yep, Alfred reaffirming one of the recommendations that I gave. I would like to live till 30. Please stop shilling MTG, such a terrible company. I don't know, man. I feel like you can really just make that argument, though, for any company, though, Timo, depending upon your belief. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm not a Hasbro fan, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm going to make money by buying product, I might as well make it at the expense of Magic the Gathering as a company bleeding, right? I don't know. You might look at it from the perspective of, oh, don't buy product from that company because you're supporting them. I look at it from the perspective of, hey, man, by me not buying product from that company until it's at the point of where they're losing money, I see it more as a dig to them, if anything. What's up, Michael? Good to see you, brother. How's everyone doing? I'm doing good today. I need some food when I'm done with this, though. I'll tell you what, I am hungry. But other than that, I'm doing good. Tanner says, the thing I know for 100% sure, Lost Origin Fusion will go nuts soon enough. I have about $1,000 a month. I'll keep getting better. I buy Pokemon Center ETBs and immediately sell them. Nice. Good for you, man. Way to be a hustler. I love that. Oh my God. Are we doing this again? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening again. My face is disappearing. That's crazy. Yeah, I need to invest in like everyone's like, what am I looking at? It's my wall. You all are gonna get to see my wall. Alright, I need to get some sort of like fan or something to keep this thing from heating up so much, because apparently it loves to just heat up and overheat itself. So apologies on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was fun. Jeez Louise, man. Where am I? I have a Genesis on high-end deal. I have a Genesis. Have been trying to buy it off of me since they're such a popular used car. So Genesis car flips might be the move there. Okay, so speaking of cars, I might as well throw this out there because it doesn't hurt to throw it out there. I have a Volkswagen Jetta that is apparently having issues right now with the turbo. I'd be curious to see if anyone in here knows anything about cars. How much would it cost for that to relatively be fixed? Because I was quoted $3,000. And it's at a point right now with the car, like it's a nice car, but I'm just like, I can't just put $3,000. I just don't have the capital to expend to just do that. I'd much rather just get a brand new car, but I don't know. It's annoying. And also it's kind of hard to sell cars unless you're trying to get ripped off at a dealership. I've heard some things about Safari Zone that at one point at least they got stuff from eBay and false distributors. Interesting. I have not heard about that. Timo, you're a hater of 151. Wow. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the best set of all time, but I think it's a solid set. Chim is not a fan of modern. Sounds like he's a vintage fan. Fusion is definitely one of those sets that I feel like definitely got caught in the crossfires of Evolving and Brilliant and Celebrations as the three sets around it, so it felt a lot more undervalued. It's a good set. I think Chilling's better though, if I'm being honest, between the two. At least I like Chilling more. Galdino, there's not, like I said, it's not an exact number as long as you are buying the right stuff, right? I mean, I don't know. Let me put it for you this way, right? So let's say that it depends on how much your expended capital is, but let's say that you can't afford to be in the program and pay the $85 of 12 months up front for free, right? Let's say that you get in when we do the special on November 1st at $95 a month, right? That is how much you now have to say, I have to make at least $95 a month to justify being in the program, okay? If you were to buy a display of 4 for Commander decks of March of the Machine, they're going for right now on one of our distributors for $99. The card values themselves are 55%, not including the sample packs, not including selling off the lands and the dice, which you can actually double your money if you do that. If you go with that approach, right? And let's say you just buy like it's just overheating, guys. This is so freaking annoying. I need to have a way to like cool it down or something. I need to go buy like an air filter. But if you, for example, go out and buy, like, let's say you spend $400 because you buy 4 of them, and you're trying to just, make 50% of your money back within a month, then you would be making at that point at least a minimum of $100. But that's within the month, and then the next month thereafter, you just rebuy the product with your original output, rinse, repeat, and then you're just continuing to compound that revenue. That's usually the way that I would say if you're trying to use the most value and efficiency of it, because that's the product that's doing really well. Also, same thing goes with some of the pre-release kit deals we have going on. So there's definitely a ton of value to be made. You just have to buy the right things, because ultimately, at the end of the day, although we do have some good opportunities for Pokemon product right now, the biggest one being, I would say, the Lost Origin sleeved, the Silver Tempest sleeve, the Brilliant Stars sleeved blisters that got a reprint recently. And so if you want to resell those, you can make pretty good margins. It just depends on the amount of equity you have, though, because if you are saying to yourself, okay, I can go buy a Fusion sleeve box for about $360 right now, how much are you really going to be able to justify buying that one item, and how long is it going to take you to sell that one item, right? Let's say you let's say you get it for $360 and you go resell it for, I don't know, let's say $500, right? Say you sell it for $499, or maybe you say, oh, well, I'll sell it for $450, right? You're still going to be making a good chunk of money. You're going to be at least making 15% profits. Question is, how well are you going to be able to sell that case? Are you going to sell individually? Are you going to sell on a website? Are you going to sell locally? If you can sell locally because you have a tapped in local market, you can make good margins by consistently burning and churning these sleeve boxes, right? And you just keep compounding that revenue. But I guess the difference there is there isn't really some like sort of avenue for you to go and sell specifically sleeve cases at a high volume, unlike booster box cases. But even then, it's like you could, in theory, go to Facebook Marketplace groups and try and go there. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat here on the ways and you're going to be selling. So you just have to be able to be creative. And for myself, I just go with what takes the least amount of work and makes me the most amount of money, because time is money, obviously. I'm going to let my camera cool down and then my face will pop up. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It is frustrating that my camera loves to do this, but I do live in Phoenix and it is hot. I'm envious. Oh, where am I on the chat? Sorry. I'm envious of people who had money to buy Fusion boxes at 85. Was a lesson for me to save money so you can be ready for good deals when they arrive. Well, the biggest thing to remember, and I think this is one of the biggest and most important takeaways, is you're going to be experiencing right now a window for the next couple of months of really, really good pricing for Pokemon product, because it is around the holidays. And then the minute it comes into next year, that's when you see prices skyrocket. If we want to go take a look back at general pricing on a lot of these booster boxes that you're mentioning, let's take a look at Fusion Strike, for example, right? So Fusion Strike booster boxes are sitting right now, it's at about $150 when you're including shipping, right? So if you look at the price increase of the boxes, what do you notice in the trend, right? The low at TCG Player at the time was around October, November time, right? And then all of a sudden, right around the holidays after November, right? Going into December, you see a small uptick, and then going into the end of the year, starting next year, boom, it just explodes. And we can see this exact same pattern occur with all of the other boosters around this time, right? Let's go back and take a look at Chilling. Chilling Reign. Where's Chilling Reign? So we can go back to Chilling Reign and we can see the exact same thing happening. So Chilling Reign, oh, look, what do you know? October, November, it's kind of at a low point. Then it goes into December. All of a sudden, oh, it's starting to creep up. And then it goes into the new year. This one did lead the charge a little bit. It went up faster, more near the end of the year than it did the start of the year. But at that point, it was kind of past the Black Friday time. And what I think people need to notice, or more specifically, I should say, realize as well as notice with the chart that we're looking at here, is what will happen is you're going to have a lot of influx of booster boxes such as these that are on their just last leg of supply, and people are just giving one full flush into the market of it. And then once it's been flushed out because of the Black Friday deals and everyone's buying it for that, $85, $90, $95, depending upon the site you're buying it at, then all of a sudden, a lot of that supply that could have been flooded onto the market has now, it's now been flushed out, and it's time for the prices to go up. I think you could see that specifically happen in the time of Black Friday this year. Now, the question obviously everyone's always going to be asking me is, Eli, what specific card do you think is going to, or what specific product do I think is going to do that for Black Friday? Now, the next thing is with the examples we showed, right? It was immediate. Do I think that there's a specific product that we could see that happen immediately where it has a, exponential growth return? Maybe. The only one that I can potentially see that happening to for myself, at least just from what I'm thinking, is these 3 items: Lost Origin, Silver Tempest boosters, and then potentially the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. Now, the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection is an interesting one. The reason why I say that is because we've been in a point within the market where we found its bottom after it went, kaput and crashed, and it's now starting to gain some form of momentum. It would not surprise me if with the price increase most recently of it going up about $20 in the past week and a half, that some people want to try and take advantage of it, flash sell it, and then all of a sudden the supply has kind of dwindled out, been flushed out of the market, and prices go up. Same thing is going to go with Lost Origin, Silver Tempest booster boxes. We obviously are coming off of a fresh reprint of those specifically as of the past couple of months now. Prices have kind of stabilized with them. If we're going and taking a look at the price points right now, they're pretty much going sideways to my knowledge. So taking a look at Silver Tempest, it's at 124, but ultimately it changes on the day. Like if we look at the monthly on it, or you see it as high as 127, it's saying 123. I see it honestly fluctuate between 124 and 128. So that's just kind of where we are with that. Lost Origin boosters, it's also at its low point too of around 134. I think literally like a week ago it was at 137. So yeah, high points being 137, low points being 130, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like we did have a period where it did go a little low, closer to the 130. So it's kind of in this range of like low 130s to like high 130s. And this is TCG Player, right? Granted. And so when we're talking Black Friday specials, right, we're more specifically just going off of what other stores are going to be selling it for. So you should be able to get it cheaper elsewhere than on TCG Player. But like I said, anticipate stores to try and offload some of their Lost Origin Silver Tempest boosters in exchange for you coming in and buying a lot of the crappy booster boxes that they over-leveraged themselves by taking, and they're now trying to flash flood the product into the market. I'm not saying it's going to be like a crazy deal, but if you're able to get Lost Origin for 110 or 115 or sub these prices, and specifically Silver Tempest 105 or 110, you're going to be getting into an amazing position for potential booster boxes that could perform extremely well in the long term. I think these are going to perform so well because, as we've seen historically speaking, Sword and Shield era booster boxes have been performed really, really strong. These are the ones that were most recently reprinted. These are the ones I like the most, and I will be trying to take advantage of that or I think you guys should try and take advantage of that during Black Friday. I already took advantage of that a while ago just because of the reprint, and we were getting access to it in the wholesale program. So I stocked up on 14 cases of Lost Origin, and I bought 3 cases of Silver Tempest because I'm just a bigger believer of Lost Origin. At this point, it's just shown its validity in the market. So that's just kind of my belief for those people that are asking, which I like more. And to be fair, I was buying them both at the same price. So it really comes down to which is a better deal at the time. But I give the price points that I like for both of them, and that's where I would kind of go with that. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion on some of the items. I think will be a good one to look into and kind of watch at the market. With price appreciation of orange juice futures, there's a per capita consumption of in the U.S. being with Steven, you ask good questions that I I don't know the answer to. Let me feel how my camera is. Camera's cooled down quite a bit. I'm gonna put it up now so we can see my face because I feel weird being a little black blurb, whatever. We want to see your face. I don't know if someone's seen that Dave Chappelle skit, but excuse you. Okay. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. My face is back. There we go. Now we're looking. Now we're cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Extra Chris B says Patreon used to be 50, and then it failed and was 75. And then it failed and was 75. I have no clue what you mean by that. Obviously, I know you're referencing the pricing. But I don't know what you mean by and when it fall. Oh, and when it failed? No, and when it failed, it was 75. I don't know what you mean by that. I do not go to LGSs anymore for that exact reason. Yeah, understandable, man. Thanks for the honest answer. Yeah, man, I'm never gonna BS you guys. I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest, open, transparent. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I want, like I said before, I talked about at the very beginning of the video what my goal of the channel is, making sure people are making informed decisions that are based on not emotions. You're being patient, you're being calm, collected, and you're making sure that you're taking advantage of opportunities and not jumping into things, right? And for myself, I'm always going to be open and honest about anything that I talk about, right? My general thoughts from a business owner perspective, my general thoughts on what's going on in the market from an investment perspective, my thoughts on when I'm having conversations with you guys and you ask me general questions about certain things on whether you should invest in it or not, or whether you should join the program or not, right? My vested interest is to foster a community that is healthy, and that people can gain value from. And the only way I feel like that can occur is if we're open and honest with one another. And me being the leader, obviously, that community for Pokemon USA, I want to represent that, and I want to practice what I preach in that regard. So I'm always going to be upfront about certain things and making sure that people know I'm not, I might know a crap ton about Pokemon, but I don't know everything. And I will always give recommendations elsewhere. Arkansas area is one of the cheapest places to live in America a year and a half ago. Dang, dude, that's crazy. I guess so. The sticks. He says the sticks. That's funny. Makes sense. Make money in whatever moral way you can. Find. Don't like MTG, but there is money on the table. That is true. If you don't want to get a VTuber model, become a PNG tuber. That's a nice wall. I know you guys like that very white wall that you see in the backdrop there. Why did I say it like that? That sounded weird. Repair it. Buy a new right now. Repair it. Buying new right now will cost more. $3,000 for a turbofan is about the norm. Had to replace that in my 04 Jetta. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do that. I don't know, man. It's just tough. Like, it's just tough for myself because dropping $3,000 into the vehicle, it's a 2013 Jetta TDI. It has 100,000 miles on it now, right? And there's potentially other repairs that could have to be made for a vehicle that's currently what it's at right now. And so I guess for myself, if I say, okay, $3,000, that's a lot of money, but I could then take that money and put it towards a down payment on a new car that I make monthly payments on. And I know obviously right now, like, interest rates are expensive, but I just could get something that could potentially last me longer than fixing a car up that could come into more issues down the line. Because when you're talking about the value of a vehicle that I just mentioned, it's about around, if it's brand new and in good clean condition, around $9,000. So if it now has a turbo issue and then some general wear and tear, it's probably valued at closer to 5 to 6. So for myself, it's like, okay, well, am I really going to want to try and put $3,000 in to fix the vehicle, knowing that it's literally valued about, a third of the actual, or, I don't know what about a third of what the actual full price value of the car is worth. Like, that's a lot of money to put in a car that's not worth that much. Vintage snobs. We got some vintage snobs in the house. Brilliant Stars is overvalued, by the way. It's more expensive than Lost Origin Chilling Infusion. How is it better than those? I'm not saying it's a better set because I don't think it's a better set, but I understand why it's priced the way it's priced. I think that really just comes down to the fact that it's a set that has a Charizard and it has other cards that people enjoy. Also, as well, when comparing with some of the other sets you mentioned, it has had a lot lower of a supply. Lost Origin and Silver Tempest have obviously gotten a recent reprint, and Chilling Reign Infusion and Battle Styles all got printed into the ground in 2021. So it really just comes down to the fact that Brilliant, although it did have a small reprint with Astral, it wasn't a big one. It was a small one. So supply also plays a big factor. You say that's a little ludicrous, Timo, but I mean, we've been sold out at the $100 tier for months now. We've been sold out for so long at that price point, and obviously we we opened up more spots at 115, and we sold out of that, and then just recently added a couple of spots. So if you're not paying up front, I mean, you're getting a $20 discount for something that would usually sell out pretty fast at that price point because the value is there, which is why we've, sure, we'll lose someone in the program like once or twice a month, but ultimately at the end of the day, we have a large amount of retention in the program because people find value, especially for a lot of people who have storefronts and other such expenses. And they want to find ways to increase their general income, and for them, or people with side hustles, obviously, and they want to get access to distribution, which you might not realize, but in order for most people to get a distributor, you have to have an LGS, and even then, some places, just to get allocations, are backed up by months and months and months and months for the application process, and then when you join, it's a 6-month waiting process for trying to get allocations. With us, you don't have to really worry about that. And for us, with new distributors, we do so much volume as a program as a whole. We can go get new distributors and negotiate already just based on the volume because of how much that can be enticing to them to have a whale be added to their accounts. So there's just a ton of value in that. Steve. Oh, that's so funny. Only expensive if you don't have a job like Alex. That's funny. Hey, you never know. Alex could join the program. He could join the Patreon program. I mean, ultimately, if he's trying to do what he's trying to do, then it would be an extremely useful tool for someone who doesn't have access to a distributor. And it's going to be way cheaper than going and paying $3,000 to $4,000 a month looking for a place. Some people might say, that's way too expensive, Eli. It should be at least $2,000. With every single LGS owner that I've talked to that's successful, most of the time, the biggest complaint they say is that they got into a place a lot smaller than what they would have originally gotten. But to be fair, they didn't know they were going to be as successful as they are. So shout out to them. Crystal ball disclaimer aside, what odds would you give there being an ES reprint giving the sentiment around Scarlet and Violet and them needing to bundle sets? It's so funny, Connor. With the bundling of reprinted product, that is a question I keep asking myself, and it feels like it becomes more and more a potential because, one, Evolving Skies is still in rotation. It doesn't go out of rotation until next year, and we don't even know when that's going to be next year. Two, like the examples you just gave me when it came to the discussion around bundling product, what's a booster box right now that's in rotation that hasn't gotten reprinted from Sword and Shield era? Let's think about it, right? Lost Origin, Silver Tempest got a small reprint. Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars also got a small reprint, right? In theory, if they really wanted to, they could go back and they could go Chilling Reign, Fusion, Battle Styles, and Evolving. I don't think they would do that, if I'm being honest, with Battle Styles for sure. It's entirely possible they could do it with Chilling and Fusion. But let's be honest here, based on the fact that those two sets have already been printed heavily in the ground and the price points, although they're good, it would be pretty catastrophic if they got reprinted. The prices would probably go to around sub $100, which if that were to happen to be a great buying opportunity. And this is also pending on the supply, of course, on how much is reprinted. But Evolving Skies, for it being still in rotation and them trying to sell a bunch of Scarlet and Violet product, it's like they're ace up their sleeve right now. If they look and they see the market is doing so bad the way it is, and they realize, like, over the next 3, 4, 5 months before it does go out of rotation, they are, like, watching just absolute hysteria with Paradox pricing, pre-selling for wholesale or cheaper. It could be something where they say, hey, we want to push more Paldea into the market. We want to push more Fusion into, or not Fusion, Obsidian into the market. How are we going to go about doing that? It's time to do an Evolving Skies reprint. I'm not saying that obviously that's certain or that's going to happen. Like you said, crystal ball disclaimer. This is all tinfoil hat theory, but I'm just saying that it starts to feel like that could potentially really happen. Do I think the chances of that happening are high? I feel like 30% is where I'm at, which feels like a really high chance of happening. 30% is pretty high. But at the end of the day, right? Like I said, it could be an ace up their sleeve and they're waiting last second, but 30% is kind of where I'm putting that at as a possibility. It's more at this point just kind of a theory that I feel like just in a gut feeling that it could happen, but putting at 30% because so far there's not been anything definitive on confirmation of an Evolving Skies reprint. Yeah, of course. No problem, Galdino. Fusion Strike is much more displayable in my opinion, even though only 2 huge hits, that Gengar and Espeon are bangers. Hey, I like this Celebi. I think the Celebi is a gorgeous card. Tanner says he thinks that Fusion's better than Chilling because we have some OG Pokemon in Fusion, and Fusion single prices are higher, bigger chases, even though Chilling is out of stock and older. Well, I guess there's some truth to that, but you also have to understand as well that there's still some OGs in Chilling Reign, right? People really seem to like the remaster versions of the birds, right? Like the Roadrunner version of Zapdos, which is a really creative design. The Moltres, especially the card itself, is considered to be one of the top 5 alternate arts in all of the Sword and Shield era. It's got a golden Snorlax if you're a fan of that. It's got a lot of really good, diverse pool of cards, and it's just a really good set overall. And if you go beyond the big hitters, you're getting more value opening up Chilling Reign and getting a hit because of the diversity of value within the big hits. And then now maybe you can say singles and Fusion for like bulk is better, but that just comes down more to the competitive landscape. But I don't think that's what you're referencing. But just in case you are, Fusion is much more playable, but that isn't going to affect how the boosters are going to perform comparatively. But I mean, obviously, who knows? Only time will tell. I've been getting 151 in Flippin' when it first came out, and One Piece in Flippin', but prices are tanking now too. What's up? What's up, Collector J? Hopefully all is well with you. I agree. They will both do well. I don't know which one's going to outperform the other. I really don't know. All I can tell you is that I'm betting on Chilling. Y'all are wild. Brilliant Stars is S tier for current times and S plus tier for long term. Replace it with the Sony FX. Well, dude, I literally just bought this camera. I don't know, Wolfie. I can't really return it because I didn't buy new. Is there some sort of pack thing that I can buy that makes it cooler? What's up, Jared? Good to see you, brother. I see we've got debates going on in the chat. Hold on one second. I'm going to... Uh-oh. Are we still good? Okay, cool. Sorry. Something happened here for a second. Stuff froze for a quick second. See a lot of debates going on. Between which is good. Evolving Skies is amazing cards, but it's notorious for bad pull rates. And look at its performance. Feels like anything is possible with Pokemon. Hard to predict. I don't know, man. I've had great experiences with pull rates for Evolving. I mean, if you guys have been watching my live streams when we did our mystery pack opening, and we pulled the Moonbreon during that live. And on a personal note, I've opened about 3 cases worth of Evolving, and I've pulled the Moonbreon 3 times separately. So I've pulled my most common alternate I've pulled is the Moonbreon. So I can't speak to that on a personal level. I mean, yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I feel like there is some merit to certain products having better pull rates than others, but I think it can also be case by case basis and potentially a regional problem depending upon where people live. I will definitely take a look at that later, Zapdos. Get out of here, Steve. I need a GoFundMe for a new camera. God, I just spent $1,000 on this one. Come on, man. I already read this one with the orange juice gag. It's always like that because the vendor or distributor bundles stuff in order for LCSs to get what's hot or what they want. But that's not what distributors do. That's what Pokemon Company does to distributors, and then distributors pass it on. It's mainly that's just done because the Pokemon Company wants to push the competitive landscape of the game, and so it's really important to them to be able to take cards that are in the current meta and push that by driving the single prices down. Because if you probably guys have been following Scarlet and Violet base, Nest Ball is one of the most commonly used Pokemon cards right now in the current meta. And there's a couple other cards as well in base that are also used quite frequently. So for them, it's just wanting to continue to kind of suppress any pricing, because if you've been following the competitive landscape for a while, they're going back to places such as Roaring Skies. I mean, you had some singles that didn't get any reprints and prices skyrocketed, and then it became expensive to make certain meta decks, which Pokemon Company doesn't want to have happen, which is why they created the VMAX League Battle decks and EX Battle decks. Face not needed. Am I still planning on opening any more slots? Yes. So like I said before, we did just open 3 more slots right now at the 115 tier for the program. And as mentioned before, the reason why I opened the more slots in particular is because we had some people that actually asked the other day if we could do that for them, because I am going to be obviously putting the program on sale come November 1st. And to secure that you're going to be able to get it on sale, obviously, it's one of those things where you want to be in the program so you can guarantee that you're going to get the transfer, because we're only going to always have a certain amount of spots. I do have a reserve amount of spots that I won't be dropping until that day does happen. So rest assured, you don't have to join these 3 spots. You can always just wait till November 1st. I just know for some people, they like to guarantee that they're going to be getting that discounted pricing, especially too, because it's like once it rolls over into the next month, depending upon if they pay up front for the year of the membership, then they only have to pay $85 a month or $95 if they go on a month-to-month basis. So it's just a better way for people to get security and knowing that they're going to get a better price come next month. What's the best English 151 product to invest in right now? Interesting question. Definitely not the UPC because it's going to get a reprint. Ooh, what do we like? What do we like? Let's click sealed product. Let me put it for you this way. I won't answer that question. We can have this conversation in November when it's Black Friday. I mean, that's what I would recommend. I want to answer, but it really just comes down to the pricing of what I like the most and then the knowledge I have with reprints occurring, right? Like if the Ultra Premium Collection wasn't going to get a reprint, then obviously I'd recommend that one, but it is, so. I mean, ETBs are going to be a good price at some point, worth picking up. Always like ETBs. I don't know how I feel about the collection boxes, though. I mean, the poster collection or the binder collection could be cool since it's niche. But it's really something where I just really care more about the price point of entry. Appreciate it, Connor. I'd be patient, hold off investing unless it's Pokemon Center ETPs. Yeah. I know what you're saying on the previous comment about chilling, but Fusion had a trainer gallery. But Fusion has a trainer gallery and also has a Pikachu Pulse and Gengar and Espeon. Fusion does not have a trainer gallery, good sir. You're thinking of Lost Origin, Tanner. Fusion does not have a trainer gallery. Lost Origin's the one that has the trainer gallery with the Pikachus. For distro access, well, you have to first and foremost join the right tier if you're asking. But like I said, they sold out yesterday, and then I opened a couple extra spots because I told people I would. So if you want to join that tier, you definitely want to make sure you join the wholesale access tier. Now, to answer your question on how often those tiers, fill up, I mean, how often are they available? So I was gone for vacation, and we had a couple of spots available while I was gone. But other than that, there has been no point in time during the history of the program where we've had spots available for more than a 48-hour period. Usually how it'll work is it will sell out for, $50 tier obviously has been sold out for God knows how long. $75 tier sold out in 30 seconds. When we first came out with the $100 tier, it sold out in about a week. But that was also with us having 0 to 25 spots, which now we're at like 40 spots for the $100 tier. And whenever someone leaves, it's most of the time at the higher price tier. $50 tier people, I mean, they never leave. Very rarely. We've had some leave, but it's not too common. And I mean, the $100 tier people, even then, like I said, when a spot would open up, it would sell out immediately. And then we added the 115 slots. That took a couple days for us to sell out of it. And then we sold out of it. And then we had 2 more spots, and then that just filled up yesterday. And then I just added a couple more spots. But once again, those spots are going to go away in 11 days because they're going to be transitioned onto the website. I pulled Noivern alt 4 times and never opened a booster. Did you hear PC is shipping Van Gogh freebie promos without the promo, not allowing returns? Whoa, I did not hear about that. That's crazy. What camera do you have for the overheating? Don't a lot of streamers use the webcam? It's like $70. The camera I'm using is literally the Sony a6400. This was the camera that was recommended to me by PokeRev's editor because apparently that's the camera that he used to use when he first started, or at least some of the streamers that they've worked with, they recommend. So, it's interesting. What's my take on the Van Gogh Pikachu? I think it's a cool card. I think that it could potentially be an item that you will want to definitely take advantage of as long as people are giving it to you. But I definitely want to look into it a little bit more, though, and do a little bit more research on its availability. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I concur. They're good mini tins. I agree. So I never lived in Portland. I lived in Oregon, but it was Central Oregon. You could not pay me to live in Portland. Southern California, I haven't lived there since I was a kid. So I would love to live in California if it was affordable. But, I mean, for me, it's just unrealistic because of housing costs and taxes and crime and gas and food. And a lot of other things. Who's making you leave, Wrath? All right, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I got caught up on all the messages. All right, cool. So here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap things up in the next 5 minutes. Like I said, I usually go until 2:30. So we're going to kind of wrap things up. If you have any more last second questions, please feel free to ask. But as always, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways. Hey, well, thanks, Shipley. Glad to see you part of it. Portland is cool for 40 hours. It's the center of homelessness, Ellie. Yeah, that's why I said you wouldn't catch me dead living in Portland. It's kind of gross. Portland used to be gorgeous. Portland used to be such a cool city, but it's just not the same. Did you talk about how you feel? Did you talk about Paradox Rift and how you feel about the set? I talked about that more on Tuesday than today, but I like the set so far. But we haven't had a full reveal yet of Paradox, have we? Unless I'm wrong. I mean, we've had some leaks, but the card itself hasn't had a full reveal yet, or the set itself. Yeah, no, we still are waiting for the final reveal. I messed up the previous comment. I meant Lost Origin. Okay, well, Tanner, it was not a debate between it was a debate between Fusion and Chilling, though. Not Fusion and LO. Or sorry, not Chilling and LO. That's a completely different argument. Because there's no arguments here on Lost Origin, but obviously that's two different sets that you're combining. Yeah, no, I've seen the leaks. I mean, the set looks great so far from what we've seen from the leaks. I'm excited. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. Once again, thank you guys all so much for supporting the channel, stopping by, asking your questions. Can't thank you enough, but as far as it goes, until then, I will see you